So this is my little work area, just to give you a little bit of an introduction. I got a actual drafting table. It goes up actually, and I kind of need it angled up a little bit, but I don't want my stuff to slide, so I haven't finished setting it up perfectly. Originally I was supposed to use this sitting at the couch, but unfortunately the legs here are way too high to fit under my couches. And my house is messy because I'm disabled and I can't really clean it. I can't really do anything that involves bending over or moving my arms too much. So here's the main picture I'm going to be doing my cage box from. But I'm picking and choosing what I want on my picture. So that's just like that's the blueprint or whatever, the original photo. The original, here we go. This is the piece I'm doing. I'm trying to make me a drying shelf for putting my boards up to dry, so I don't really have a way to keep them from getting covered in dust and debris as the sealant isn't drying, so it leaves debris in there and I don't like that. So I'm building a drying rack. So these are something I bought at like the Goodwill or a thrift store or something for like, God, how much did I pay for it? Like $1.50 or something, and they're shelf bottoms, so you can see little hookups for the shelf. So like, it would go on the wall like this, and then the shelf would sit on top of it, or, you know, pointing the way that would be pointing out. But I'm not doing that. I'm making a different type of shelf out of it. So I decided to do opposites. So the pattern is slightly off center, and I did that on purpose, and it doesn't line up completely perfect, but you're actually not going to be seeing it together. So it lines up really well considering that, and it does line up. You just kind of got to fiddle fart with it. So on this side, I want to decorate only the background, and I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this wood so that we know which parts are see-through and which parts are not. I haven't figured that out yet, but I'll give you a good little detailed scan here. I still have some pencil I'm working on removing, and I haven't decided what to do with these pieces, the cross in the middle here. I haven't decided yet, so that's why they're just kind of null and void. And I'm doing this on pine. Normally working on birch is your best because birch here doesn't have very much sap in its lines, and it does have some sap. This is a little tray I'm working on. It does have some, but it's very, very faint. It's not like this. Every one of these lines, when I try to burn it, burns at a different temperature than the other ones. And the places where they're really close together, like this, cause these little ripples in it. So if you're going to want to work on a piece that's got to be very, very detailed and very clean lines, you don't want to work on pine or anything that has a lot of lines. Birch is best. If you see, this is birch. This has the lines in it. You can see the lines and the grooves, but my lines are mostly clear. The temperature doesn't change. And the thing is, their thing doesn't change. So when I'm drawing this line, it's nice and smooth. It's one level. But if you draw lines on here, each one of these is actually a little bit higher than the rest of the wood. So you get these up and downs, because it's actually kind of like rippled. And right here, it's rippled really bad. And then the bigger spaces, it's not rippled as bad. So I wanted that with this piece. I want this to look old and beat up. I'm actually planning on sanding a good portion and somewhere over in here away so that it actually looks like it's fading. I want it to look old and aged. But the whole idea is outside, inside. So first I put the outlines on. Then I went in and did the little bit of shading on this side and then removed the pencil drawings with sandpaper this time, the pencil. So that's why it's kind of faded right now, because I have not gone back over it since I did the sandpaper. But one thing you can notice is if you're using pencil on a board, and it's like these where it has the rivets, when you're erasing the pencil, it's a possibility the pencil will get in that groove and then just stay with it as you're sanding. Because that's what this is. That little darker mark right there, that is actually pencil residue that went into that crack and doesn't want to come out. Now I'll be able to remove it in finishing touches and stuff, but it does give it a kind of a schmear. When you use sandpaper, I should not have done my highlighting. I should have done my main outline and then removed it. And that's what you can see. There's a lot of sand or pencil marks right here I wasn't able to remove yet. It'll take more sanding to do it. And on this side, I tried to use an eraser to remove all the pencil marks, and it's kind of working. And again, I shaded it before I did it because I wanted to do what I do on one side, I want to do on the other. But I got most of them off. There's still a few, and unfortunately I messed up right here, but I will be able to sand that extra line right there off so you won't even see it. But I wanted to give you a quick update to show you what I'm working on. So today I'm going to work on this side again, and I'm going to start adding a lot more shading. I wanted to get my ideas down before I did it to actually make it start to pop and look really beautiful. Okie dokie.